Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the Uniformed Services University class of 2017. Please. So I am Colonel Jerome Buller, Uniformed Services University Brigade Commander. Before we begin today's ceremony, I have two announcements. First, please take a moment to silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. Second, all men in the audience are asked to remove their hats during the national anthem and the prayers. Thank you. Please rise for the academic procession. The placement of this mace on behalf of University President Richard Thomas by Navy Hospital Corpsman First Class Sharika Smith, USU Service Member of the Year, opens the 38th commencement of the Uniformed Services University. Today's ceremony recognizes years of graduate study by our students, and for all, it represents an expression of service to our nation, at home and abroad, in military and civilian life. Our students have dedicated themselves to learning to care for those in harm's way and to improve the human condition. We are here today to honor and reward them. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the University Brigade Color Guard and the national anthem by the President's own, the United States Marine Band, under the direction of Drum Major Gunnery Sergeant Stacy Crowther, United States Marine Corps. Please feel free to join in singing the national anthem. Present the colors. Stop. Retire the colors. Colors! Crossword, forward! The University Chaplain, Commander Leroy Mack, United States Navy, will deliver the invocation.
All invited to pray. Lord, we thank you for bringing these medical professionals to this apex of their education, this endeavor known as graduation. May they always remember the art of caring, the care provided by you, Lord, above, care provided by their peers at their sides, and guidance from their professors who stood before them, who navigated the facts of the field of medicine. Even the more, cherishing those persons who inspired and dared to support the dream of our nation's finest, the moms, dads, aunts, uncles, school teachers, friends, and extended family. May the great physician who fashioned all things is able to heal all ailments, grant a peace that passes all understanding, keeping each of you in his perfect peace in the practice of medicine, charging you with the universal perspective of good for mankind. Lord, make me a channel of thy peace, that where there is hatred, you may bring love, that where there is wrong, you may bring the spirit of forgiveness, that where there is discord, you bring harmony, where there is pain, you bring comfort, Where there is ailment, you bring a cure. Where there is retreat from things that is difficult, may you always lead from the front as military medical professionals. Amen.
Please be seated. It's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Dale Smith, Professor, Department of Military and Emergency Medicine.
Please join me in thanking the University Brigade Color Guard and the United States Marine Band. Let us also thank the Board of Regents, distinguished guests, faculty and staff of the Uniformed Services University for the continued support of this next generation of healthcare providers and scholars. At this time, let's pause for a moment of silence to honor the men and women of the military health system who have given their lives in the line of duty and in service to our country. Today's ceremony is the formal recognition of our remarkable achievements. In addition to our graduates listed in the program, today we will also honor several students and faculty who have received awards for their significant contributions to medicine, nursing, dentistry, and graduate education. These individual awards are described in detail in the program. Dr. Richard Thomas, Uniformed Services University President, will introduce our commencement speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, family members, distinguished guests, and especially to our graduates. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome Dr. Ronald Blanck, Lieutenant General, Medical Corps, United States Army, retired, and Chair of the Uniformed Services University Board of Regents. Dr. Blanck has spent more than 32 years in the military, beginning in 1968 as just a young medical officer and a battalion surgeon in Vietnam. He held a number of distinguished assignments throughout his career, chief among them Assistant Dean for the Student Affairs at the Uniformed Service University, and later as Commander of the Walter Reed Army Medical Center and North Atlantic Regional Medical Command. His career culminated at the 39th, as the 39th Surgeon General of the United States Army. Now, following his retirement from active duty, he served as the President of the University of North Texas Health Sciences Center in Fort Worth, and he is now Chairman and Partner of Martin, Blanck & Associates, and has served on the Uniformed Service University Board of Regents since 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to welcome to the podium Dr. Ronald Blanck.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. Thomas, thank you for that nice introduction, mercifully brief. Undersecretary Curta, members of the board, faculty and staff, graduates, students, family and friends. I'm very honored by my selection as your speaker, especially since I've been associated with USU since 1975. I would venture to say there's few, if any, graduates today who were born in 1975. And I will tell you that while growing old is no virtue, I'll personally attest to it being better than the alternative. So in those ensuing years, I've watched the Uniformed Services University grow and expand its focus on all health disciplines as it leads the way in interprofessional education, now to include the College of Allied Health Sciences in its undergraduate programs. But what has not changed is what made USU unique then, what makes it unique now. And it's not the great education or the wonderful research that's carried out, it's not the world-class simulation center, it's not the patient care that its faculty and students do. That's expanded, it's grown. It's not what makes it unique. What, of course, makes it unique is the synergy of two professions: healthcare, with all of its disciplines, and the military. They share values and people don't often realize that, but they're really the same: values of integrity, values of courage, of commitment, of leadership, and of service. Service especially is at the core of healthcare and at the core of the military. Others before self. Let me say right now that when I refer to the military, I include the public health service in that, and also our civilian graduates. So I do not mean to not include all of you. Integrity, always tell the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, and it often is. Tell the truth to yourself, too. We get to kid ourselves an awful lot. Your patients and your peers demand the truth. As a corollary, admit mistakes and try to fix them. We're very fortunate in that we have patients who realize we're human. They don't expect perfection, but they demand honesty. And if we're honest with them and gain their trust, they are both forgiving and our greatest advocates, and that's, of course, the partnership that we want. Courage kind of goes along with telling the truth, standing up for what's right, going towards the action, being in front. Sometimes speaking up on those occasions is hard, but it's really part of leadership as well. And if you've not read it, I would recommend, in your spare time, reading Dereliction of Duty by McMaster. It talks about a failure of leadership in the military 40 years ago. It's well worth your time. Commitment. Be at the top of your professions always, civilian and military. You have to be with both. Whatever your discipline, specialty, keep up, be the expert in your field. Now, you're going to spend a lot of time on your professional demands, but try not to forget your family and yourself in all of that. You need to spend some time with them and on you. I know how difficult it is to balance those competing demands, but believe me, being aware that you have those demands is the first step to achieving that balance. So healthcare, the military, family, all are equally important. Service. You've chosen fields of service, again, in healthcare and in the military. Service to your professions, service to your patients, service to those whom you lead, service to your colleagues. Selflessness, not selfishness, should always be your word, and think of yourselves last. Leadership. You're leaders. You have been and you certainly are now, but for no other reason than an act of Congress. So you're a leader, act like it. Nobody wants to have their fitness report or their evaluation say, the only reason anyone followed this officer was out of idle curiosity. Always listen, never shoot the messenger, be decisive, but never thoughtlessly, be visible. Walk around. A leader does that. People will behave the way you do, so set that example. Remember that if you avoid a decision, you're actually making a decision not to act. So decisiveness is part of that. Now, most of you graduates are going into patient care role as physicians, advanced practice nurses, dentists, psychologists, public health professionals, and biomedical scientists, of course, who will ultimately impact the patient care that the rest provide. So a few things about patients. First, patients are not customers. I never want to hear any of you use that term in referring to them. It's the worst term I've ever heard. It's very impersonal. It puts them in a category that they're not people anymore. Well, patients are people. They're the reason we're there. They're not an impediment to what we do. They're individuals who seek help, often for an acute problem, but always with the expectation that you are going to help them be as healthy as possible for as long as possible, even while you deal with a specific issue. Their lives are on a spectrum with different stages of needs and you are charged with always trying to optimize their quality of life, whether it be in clinical care or advancing research. So as you take care of an immediate problem, do a follow-up visit, hospitalize a patient, take care of them in that hospital, always remember to try to check in their immunization status. Ask them what they're eating and drinking and how much. Ask them about their exercise. Health actually begins, and you all know this, with public health and preventive medicine. And I would venture to say that for all of us, all of you in the audience, and most are pretty healthy, it's because of water purification, food safety, sanitation, and immunizations, public health measures. That's the basis of what we do, especially important to a military population, because our job is to keep soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, those in the Coast Guard healthy so they can do their jobs. Ask about their families and actually listen to them. Look at the patient, not at the darn, I was going to say another word, computer. It just drives me crazy, as I used to tell my staff. You folks are going to drive me to drink, and unfortunately for you, I like it. That goes back to that earlier comment, doesn't it? Ask and listen to them. Don't look at the computer while you're talking to them. Then if you want to turn away and do your computer thing, you can. But this is something that's very easy to say. It's very hard to do, but I charge you with it. Try to build rapport in whatever time you have with that patient, short or long, and work as part of a team. We pride ourselves in team training in the military and try to do it as part of the interdisciplinary education at USU. Clearly, all of us recognize that healthcare today is much more of a team sport than it has been in the past. So value what your other team members bring to the table. Refer, discuss, communicate, talk, value, but always keep that patient in the center of what you're doing with your teammates. Finally, and this is going to be hard for some of you, you can't fix everything. You can always try. You can always make it a little better, and that's the goal. Make it a little better, and if you can fix it, even better. Be visible, make the on-the-spot corrections, do the kinds of things that people will emulate. At the end of the day, though, realize how very fortunate we all are in taking care of the best patients in the world. Men and women of the uniformed services, active, guard, reserve, retirees, and their families. What a privilege it is. Congratulations to you on your accomplishments. Thank you very, very much.
So thank you, Dr. Blanck. I really appreciate your inspiring thoughts and words today. On behalf of the university, our faculty, our staff, and all of our students here, I want to present you this small token of our appreciation for your leadership, your wisdom, your vision, and your continual support of the university over the years. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my pleasure to welcome and introduce some of the other distinguished guests and members that we have in attendance here today. I ask that the board of the university's Board of Regents will stand when I call your name or when your name is called, and that the audience hold your applause until all have been introduced. First, I want to recognize Mr. Anthony Kurta, the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. Dr. Leo Rouse, the Honorable Gail Walensky, Dr. David Smith, performing the duties of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs. Lieutenant General Nadia West, Vice Admiral Forrest Faison, Lieutenant General Mark Ediger, and Rear Admiral Sylvia Trent Adams. Dr. Blanck will now present the Board of Regents Awards.
The Board of Regents Award is the highest honor the university can bestow on a graduating student. The outstanding students were nominated from the F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine, the Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing, and the Postgraduate Dental College. A description of the Board of Regents Awards can be found in your program.
At this time, Dr. Blanck, Dr. Thomas, and Dr. Smith will come forward to congratulate the outstanding medical and graduate students in the School of Medicine and the Graduate School of Nursing. Second Lieutenant Amy Moores, please come forward. Ms. Jennifer Bacalar, please come forward. Major Marlene Arias Reynosa, please come forward. In addition, Captain Michael Segal of the Postgraduate Dental College received the Patrick D. Scully Board of Regents Award yesterday at a ceremony held on campus. It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. Carol Romano, Dean, Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing, who will announce the Graduate School of Nursing Student and Faculty Awards and present the Graduate School of Nursing candidates for degree.
The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by the members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because, by tradition, it remains secret until this moment. This award is presented by Colonel Susan Dukes, the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs.
Lieutenant Commander Robin White, congratulations. Please come forward.
The following Daniel K. Inouye Graduate School of Nursing faculty members have distinguished themselves by personal example, professional knowledge, and genuine care and concern for each of their students. The award recipients were selected by the nursing graduates and were presented at an award ceremony held on campus earlier this week. As your name is called, please stand to be recognized. The Outstanding Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Uniform Faculty Award is given to Lieutenant Colonel Kyle Hodgen. The Outstanding Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Civilian Faculty Award is given to Dr. Laura Taylor. the Outstanding PhD Faculty Award is given to Colonel Marla DeYoung. President Thomas, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, upon the recommendation of the faculty, and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to your new responsibilities in healthcare. Please come forward.
Colonel Susan Dukes will read the graduates' names. There are graduates listed in your program who are not able to participate in today's ceremonies.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as family nurse practitioners. Dr. Lindsay McQuaid. Dr. Virgilio Ocampo. Dr. Robin White. Dr. Niles Machenbacher. Dr. Michael Rasmussen. Dr. Scott Richardson. Dr. Jennifer Siegert. Dr. James Brown. Dr. Allison Patton. Dr. Lisa Taylor. Dr. Randy Rao. Dr. Ella Stallings. Dr. Vicki Varese. Dr. Lindsay Drysdale. Dr. Jennifer Esparza. Dr. Deanna Sheets. Dr. William Vanoss. Dr. Susan Joseph. Dr. Leah Sweeney. Dr. Alewa Davis. Dr. Monica Hall. Dr. Samantha Jennings. Dr. Sherry Little. Dr. Angela McElroy. Dr. Kenneth Smith. Dr. Alyssa Turner. The following candidates are receiving the degree Graduate of Nursing Practice as Women's Health Nurse Practitioners. This class represents the first cohort of women's health nurse practitioners to receive this degree. Dr. Kristen Kepler. Dr. Jennifer McAndrews. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioners. Dr. Alexander Aristozabal. Dr. Marcia Walker. Dr. Marlene Arrace Reynoso. Dr. Landon Coleman. Dr. Brent Don Moyer. Dr. Osea Okoro. Dr. Kimberly Gankoff. Dr. Timothy Weichel. Dr. Jennifer Witt. Dr. Patricia Smith. Dr. Rachel Broussard. Dr. Suzanne Mertz. The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice as Registered Nurse Anesthetists. Dr. Laura Ransom. Dr. Jamie Sedola. Dr. Marco Benito. Dr. Robert Girolamo. Dr. Lisa O'Driscoll. Dr. James Berkla. Dr. Jennifer Lauren. Dr. Chad Phipps. Dr. Aaron Gagliano. Dr. Ruben Mojica. Dr. Wendy Choate. Dr. Megan Hilton. Dr. Christopher Gray.
President Thomas, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing Science. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing Science. Dr. William Jenchenko. Dr. Dawn Kimberly Hopkins. Dr. Leylin Kazuski.
Thank you, Dean Romano. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Gregory Mueller, the Associate Dean for Graduate Education, F. Edward A. Baer School of Medicine.
Good morning. The School of Medicine Graduate Programs in Biomedical Sciences is pleased to announce the Outstanding Biomedical Graduate Educator Award. A full description of the award is in your program. The recipient of this year's award is Dr. Frank Shoemaker, Assistant Professor of the Department of Pharmacology. Dr. Shoemaker is unable to be with us today, but he extends his congratulations to all of our graduates. Thank you, Frank.
Dean Mueller will now present the graduates of the graduate programs in biomedical sciences. He is joined by Dr. Arthur Kellerman, Dean, School of Medicine, who will present the diplomas. There are graduates listed in your program who are not able to participate in today's ceremony.
Dr. Thomas, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for the master's degrees from the USU graduate programs of the Department of Preventive Medicine and Biostatistics. Specifically, I present candidates for the Master of Health Professions Education, Master of Science, and Master of Science in Public Health. Will the master candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, and with the concurrence of our Board of Regents, I confer upon you the master's degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to your new role in improving the health of the people. Please come forward.
The following graduate is receiving the degree Master of Health Professions Education. Major Luke Surrey. The following graduate is receiving the degree Jerome, please, would you? The following graduate is receiving the degree Master of Science, Miss Jaqueline Scales. The following graduates are receiving the degree Master of Science in Public Health. Captain Karim El-Yamani. Lieutenant John Hansen. Lieutenant Jonathan Honey. Major Ryan Young. Captain Judy Kiernan. Lieutenant Kevin Lang. Captain Gordon Pajuloma. President Thomas, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Public Health. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of our Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Public Health, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Public Health. Dr. Colleen Daniels. Go ahead, Melissa. Dr. Elizabeth Lee. President Thomas, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate programs and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I present the following candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of our Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this honorable company of scholars. Please come forward.
The following graduates are receiving the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Degrees from the program in Medical and Clinical Psychology are awarded to Dr. Jennifer Bacalar, Dr. Allison Conforti, Dr. Felicia Keith, Dr. Catherine Lunsford, Dr. Sarah McCrate, Dr. Chantel Malosha, Dr. Lindsay Reinhardt, Dr. Catherine Ware, and Dr. Aaron Weisbrod. A degree from the program in Preventive Medicine and Biostatistics is awarded to Dr. Sapalak Pulsambun, degrees from the program in Emerging Infectious Diseases are awarded to Dr. Eric Lang, Dr. Stephanie Cervetas, degrees from the program in neuroscience are awarded to Dr. Teresa Ferreira Bowens, and Dr. John Magnuson.
Thank you, Dean Mueller. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Dean Kellerman will announce the School of Medicine Student and Faculty Awards and present the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree. Descriptions of the awards are in your program.
The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by the members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because, by tradition, it remains secret until this moment. This award is presented by Colonel Lisa Moores, Associate Dean for Student Affairs.
Morning. Will Ensign Lizzie Reddy please come forward? Congratulations.
The following School of Medicine faculty members have distinguished themselves by personal example, professional knowledge, and deep care and concern for their students. These awards were presented at the awards ceremony held on campus earlier this week. The Carol J. Johns Medal is the highest honor the faculty can bestow on a colleague. The 2017 Carol J. Johns Medal was awarded to Captain Barbara Nolman Ritchell, Professor and Vice Chair, Department of Pathology. Captain Nolman Ritchell, please rise to be recognized. The medical graduates have selected the recipient of the Outstanding Uniformed Faculty William P. Clements Jr. Award, Lieutenant Colonel Dana Nguyen, USU Class of 2001, Associate Professor, Department of Family Medicine. Lieutenant Colonel Nguyen, please rise to be recognized. The medical graduates have selected the recipient of the Outstanding Civilian Educator Award, Dr. Jeffrey Leggett, USU Class of 1994, Associate Professor, Department of Family Medicine. Dr. Leggett is at a commencement ceremony for his child today, so he was not able to be with us. He extends his congratulations to our candidates. President Thomas, on behalf of the faculty, I present these candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine. Candidates, please rise.
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the concurrence of our University Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Medicine, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Welcome to this ancient and honorable profession.
Ladies and gentlemen, the oath of Hippocrates will be administered by Associate Dean for Student Affairs, Colonel Lisa Moores.
I would like to now invite all physicians present on stage and in the audience to stand and join the medical school graduates of the class of 2017 in reciting the Hippocratic Oath. Members of 2017, you swore the oath of Hippocrates as you entered this medical school, and it has guided your conduct as students of medicine. And as you leave, we'd ask you to recite it again with us. So physicians and graduates, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever home I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick and the well, to the utmost of my power, and that I will hold myself aloof from wrong, and from corruption, and from tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease, and will give no drugs and perform no operation for a criminal purpose, nor suggest such thing, that whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of any person which is not fitting to be spoken I will keep secret. These I do promise. And in proportion as I am faithful to this oath, may happiness and good repute be ever mine. The opposite, if I shall be forsworn. Please be seated. The graduating class has selected Dr. Dana Wynn to read their names for this ceremony. Please come forward.
Our first graduate is the recipient of the United States Army Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Brian Adams. Dr. Armando Marcos Aguilera. Dr. David J. On. Dr. Paul Allred. Dr. Robin Lee Alonji. Dr. Subodh Kumar Arora. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is his sister, Captain Catherine Arthur Eliason, a graduate of the USU class of 2016. Dr. Jacob Michael Arthur. Dr. Jason Allen Osman. Dr. Abigail Lee Axel. Dr. Jack Kennington Ayers. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is his father, Dr. Dean Baird, a graduate of the USU class of 1987. Dr. Michael David Baird. Dr. Elena Baker. Dr. Max Jeffrey Barnes. Dr. Nathan Paul Bastine. Dr. Taylor J. Bates. Dr. Yusuf Ahmed Johari Becker. Dr. Ann Tweetian Bell. Dr. Austin Gregory Bell. Dr. Theodore Wainwright Bevan. Dr. Emily Yunji Bien. Dr. Yaroslav Daniel Bodner. Dr. T. Daniel Bowman. Dr. Dacia Sheridan Kame Boyce. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Air Force Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Andrew Joseph Branting. Dr. Jeremy Lynn Brenneman. Dr. Bradley Scott Brown. Dr. Danielle Buccini. Dr. Jamie Cho. Dr. Annie Lee Chow. Dr. Stacy Chow. Dr. Matthew Paul Christian. Dr. Sunny Chung. Dr. Blake Thomas Sirks. Dr. Logan Gentry Clemens. Dr. Kevin Jude Matthew Alagon Climaco. Our next graduate is the recipient of the AMSUS Award given annually to the student who demonstrates exceptional leadership and academic excellence, Dr. Donald Francis Colantonio III. Dr. Colleen Marie Cook. Dr. Theodore Chrysostomo Wynn. Dr. John Michael Kearns. Dr. John Michael Curtin. Dr. Benjamin Lawther Custer. Dr. Gian Narayan Das. Dr. Jessica Sager Das. Our next graduate has completed the MD-PhD program with the PhD awarded in neuroscience, Dr. Nathan Lee Davidson. Dr. Michelle Tamayo Dentinger. Dr. Ronald Stephen Beloy Doria. Dr. Laura Rose Dutkovich. Dr. Matthew Wade Early. Dr. Michael Douglas Eckhoff. Dr. Tobiah Boone Elbert. Dr. Jacob Lewis Fisher. Dr. Kelly Elizabeth Flesher. Dr. Vlad Fridkin. Dr. Hannah Lee Gale. Dr. Matthew Martin Gangadine. Dr. Mary Cameron Gasser. Dr. Edward Gastel Wardell. Dr. Rachel Elizabeth Gum. Dr. Robert Neil Geis II. Dr. Douglas Colin George. Dr. Jeremy Gerard Jambo. Dr. Thomas Robert Gilder. Dr. Adrian Striley Wendling Gillis. Dr. Ryan Patrick Gillis. Dr. Shane Brent Galler. Dr. Erin Kathleen Mack Graves. Dr. Timothy Andrew Gregory. Dr. Joseph Vincent Gutierrez. Dr. Alexander Iteen. Dr. Alexandria Fraley Joksha. Dr. Catherine Jane Jonescu. Dr. Jason Andrew Jones. Dr. Christopher Henry Jordan. Dr. Phil Gu Kang. Dr. Alexander John Kersey. Dr. Kathleen Erin Perrett Kramer. Dr. Eddie Allen Kwan. Dr. Gregory Martin Lay. Dr. Evan Chai Lambert. Our next graduate is the recipient of the Vice Admiral James A. Zimble Valedictorian Award, given annually to class valedictorians. Dr. Michael Benjamin Larkin. Dr. Manu Lee. Dr. Zhao Li. Dr. Connie Lin. Dr. Peter Garrett Lindner. Dr. Yishen Elizabeth Liu. Dr. Kang Win Liu. Dr. Jonathan Ford Madden. Dr. Shelby Jean Madden. Dr. Yevgeny Maximenko. Dr. Elizabeth Ann Maldonado. Dr. Ryan Mann. Dr. Alexander Brian Gutierrez Marquez. Dr. Alexandra Bagley Morrow. Dr. Rachel Angelica McWhirter. Dr. Kelly Christine Mead. Dr. Brian Francis Merrigan. Dr. Andrew Thomas Mertz. Our next graduate is the recipient of the Board of Regents Award and also recipient of the Vice Admiral James Zimble Valedictorian Award, given annually to class valedictorian. Joining in the hooding are her parents, Colonel Retired Leon Moores, a graduate of the USU class of 1990, and Colonel Lisa Moores, Associate Dean for Student Affairs and a graduate of the USU class of 1989. Dr. Amy Elizabeth Moores. Dr. Douglas Ryan Morty. Dr. Senthil Mudaliar. Dr. Keenan Brian Murphy. Dr. Cindy Lee Pubels Neighbors. Dr. John Wesley Neighbors. Dr. Matthew Thomas Nelson. Dr. Nicholas Blaine Nesbitt. Dr. Scott Ho Nguyen. Dr. Vincent T. Nguyen. Dr. Osman Nogra. Dr. Brent Den Noze. Dr. Elizabeth Jean Okonik. Dr. Sean Paul Ouimet. Dr. Jessica Lim Irby. Dr. Dan Eru Park. Dr. Robert Micah Pestula. Dr. Brooke Amanda Patty. Dr. Utsaf Madhav Patvardan. Dr. Sydney Elise Pearls. Dr. Ashley Marie Pazel. Dr. Jackson Lee Prestwood. Our next graduate has completed the MD PhD program with a PhD awarded in neuroscience. Dr. Angela Pronger. Dr. Dawn Lynn Quigley. Dr. Alexander Kayvon Rahimi. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Navy Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Elizabeth Anna Schroff Reddy. Dr. Corey Anthony Riccio. Dr. Greg Rogers. Dr. Taylor Marshall Roth. Dr. Dallin Emmanuel Rowley. Dr. Keith Edward Ryan. Dr. Sandy Marie Salzman. Dr. Joseph Renante Surratt. Dr. Ian Garrett Schroeder. Dr. Latreia Shanae Scott. Dr. William Philip Siegfried. Dr. Evan Kenneth Schaller. Dr. Chloe Johanna Angelo Shea. Dr. Yarrow Sheldon. Dr. Elin Amin Shirazi. Dr. Tyler Kent Short. Dr. Brandon K. Shumway. Dr. Elise Magdalene Sinicki. Dr. Patrick Marcus Singley. Dr. Wesley Sitt. Dr. Matthew Donald Smith, Sr. Dr. Allison Ann Spees. Dr. Carolina Dixie Lee Stark. Dr. Samuel Stevens. Dr. Halal Ahmed Saeed. Dr. Shannon Nicole Thompson. Dr. Caitlin Eliza Toffler. Dr. Christine Eli Tolentino. Our next graduate is the recipient of the United States Public Health Surgeon General's Award, Dr. Alexander Charles Vostel. Dr. Camille Q. Vu. Joining in the hooding of our next graduate is his wife, Lieutenant Megan Guido, a graduate of the USU class of 2016, Dr. Daniel Mark Guido. Dr. Grant Martin Williams. Dr. Michael David Williams. Dr. Savannah Lee Woodward. Dr. Paul Andrew Young, Jr. Dr. Serena Xiaomeng Zhang. Dr. Daniel Mitsuhiro Zink.
As the last student crossed the stage, the Uniformed Services University had graduated 8,990 health professionals to join the Uniformed Services medical departments. We welcome the class of 2017 to this strong tradition of alumni contributions and look forward to the difference they will make. The President's Own, the United States Marine Band, will now play each of the service songs in the form of a service medley. According to university custom and to show camaraderie, it is appropriate for all persons to stand as you are able for the duration of the service medley. Please stand together until the band has completed the medley. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in thanking the President's Own, the United States Marine Band, for their musical tributes and their presence here today for our ceremony. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, having received their doctoral degrees, these 159 members of the School of Medicine class of 2017 have turned in their academic robes and now wear the uniforms of their respective services. They will now take their oath as commissioned officers in the medical corps services of their respective services, and the surgeons general or the representatives, in this case we have all the service surgeons generals here today, will commission the graduates in their respective branches. It is really my pleasure to welcome Lieutenant General Nadia West, Surgeon General of the United States Army, to confer the oath of office to the United States Army medical graduates.
Fellow Army medicine colleagues, please stand up. All right. You heard Dr. Blanck mention the synergy between professions, and I am honored today to administer the oath to solidify your commitment to the profession of arms. So please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations and welcome to the profession of arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct pleasure to welcome Vice Admiral Forrest Faison, Uniformed Services University, class of 1984, Surgeon General of the United States Navy, who will administer the oath of office to our Navy medical graduates. Admiral Faison.
Shipmates, would you please rise? 33 years ago, I stood where you now stand and took the oath you're about to take, and daily I am reminded of its significance. For in addition to being physicians, you are also leaders. And as with your patients, those you are privileged to lead and their families back home are hoping, praying, and depending on you to do all in your power to care for them today and one day return them home safely. It is a sacred trust and one that must be earned every day. And so to honor that trust, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Shipmates, welcome to Navy Medicine.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to now welcome Lieutenant General Mark Edgar, the Surgeon General of the United States Air Force, who will administer the oath of office to the Air Force medical graduates.
I ask our newest Air Force Medical Corps officers to please stand. Today you begin the wonderful experience of continuously building upon your academic foundation in service to those under your care and in service to our nation. Congratulations. It is my honor to administer to you the oath of office. Please raise your right hands. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to welcome Rear Admiral Sylvia Trent Adams, the Acting Surgeon General of the United States, who will administer the oath of office to our Public Health Service graduates.
It is an honor and a privilege to congratulate the class of 2017. May I please ask the United States Public Health Service graduates to please stand. I know that you will serve your nation well as you move forward in your career to advance, promote, and protect the public health of the nation. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank General West, Admiral Faison, Lieutenant General Edgar, and Admiral Trent Adams for being here today. They have incredibly busy schedules, as you can imagine, but they all made it a priority to be here for you. Please give them a round of applause. You heard in Dr. Blanck's words that this is a team sport, and really no one ever gets here alone. So I want to also thank all the family and friends of our graduates for the support that you provided to the graduates over the years and getting to this big point today. So graduates, please join me in showing some appreciation for your family and friends. Don't sit down. Graduates, I now want you to show some love to your extraordinary faculty and staff for their commitment and the many contributions they've made to your educations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as our program draws to an end, we wish to express our gratitude to the military personnel and the university civilian staff members who've contributed so much to orchestrate this memorable graduation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction. We ask that you remain standing until the recession is completed.
Let us receive the benediction. Lord, we thank you for this time that we have shared together. Guide and keep these graduates from this day forward. May the gift of gratitude and grace be given to all who have labored for this celebration, knowing that the good deeds and words have been given and offered in support of your goals, that they continue to inspire you to live a life of compassion and competency for the good of others, always doing all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you can. Blessings upon this assembly, the Uniformed Services University, and always the United States of America. Amen.
This concludes the Uniformed Services University Commencement Ceremony of 2017. Sergeant at Arms, retrieve the mace. President Thomas, please lead the academic recession.